This is the video version of the Sailing Doodles podcast. For the audio version, check your favorite podcast distributor. Welcome to the Sailing Doodles podcast. I'm Bobby.
And I'm Laura.
And we are the Sailing Doodles. Maverick and Goose are the two Labradoodles that normally sail with us. Unfortunately, they're not very welcome in the South Pacific where we are, so we had to leave them behind.
With Grandma.
Yeah, with Grandma. But this is episode number 11 of the Sailing Doodles podcast. If you're just tuning in on YouTube, what we started doing is posting our podcast. We're recording the video, and we're going to put that on YouTube as well for you guys to watch, because a lot of people kind of are interested in that. And the podcasts are a little more technical. You know, the episodes we do are just about having fun and showing you what it's like. The podcast, we kind of answer some
questions.
Yeah, questions.
What's it really like to sail?
So this episode is entitled Communications and Internet While Cruising.
I think this would have been helpful before we left.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we did have this. Honestly, we've learned quite a few things from this.
I think
from
this
our cruising.
Is golden information for what we went through.
Yeah. So before we get started here, we want to thank our patrons for making this possible. It's you guys that really make it. We can't do this without you. You're the guys that help us to keep making videos, and thank you so much. If you're not a patron, you can go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/sailingdoodles, and you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. And then, of course, Gulf Charters Thailand. It's their boat we're on right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
we love it.
If you're interested, if you're interested in chartering this boat or going to sailing school or anything there in Thailand, you can go to gulfcharters.com. Gulfchartersthailand.com.
Yeah, this actual boat will be there.
Okay, so on to communications and the internet. Kind of the first question that came to my mind. Obviously, we're a little bit unique situation, and we have to have internet because of what we do for a living, but
we have to have internet.
Yes, we do. So, but the question is do you even want communications and internet while you're out cruising?
Yeah, because some people sail just to get away.
Yeah, exactly. They sail to get away from it all.
Goodbye city life. Exactly. Goodbye people. Yeah. Goodbye traffic. Goodbye.
Oh, you know what we didn't do?
Goodbye everything.
We didn't kick this one off.
No.
Oh, so all right, and so cheers. There you go. It's all right. We almost forgot that. That's important. Yeah, so it takes away from being in the moment. You know, it's a waste of time when you could be out exploring.
It can be a waste of time, which is what we'll go through.
It's a big hassle sometimes trying to find. And it can be expensive too. I mean, it can be costly to get internet and data in some of these places you go to. And then most of the time, it's exceedingly slow.
It's so slow, you wish they just said they didn't have internet.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. The next question is, do you actually need internet? You know, you can want it and all that, but do you need it? We need it because this is our job.
I think a lot of other people need it because it's like a lifeline.
Yeah.
You know, and other people worry about you when you're sailing, your friends and your family and everything. So it's nice that they can know where you are. Yeah,
friends and family, definitely keeping track of you and being able to communicate with them is pretty important. So, take that in consideration. So answer those two questions for yourself. Do you want it? Do you need it? And then you can kind of go from there. And then the rest of what we're going to be talking about in this will be the various options and of how to get communications and internet while you're cruising, and then kind of the different cruising regions and
what the options are in the regions.
Yeah. So the first option when you're out cruising is hotspots. Yeah, they're slow.
You know, I feel like when you're in the United States, a hotspot is your personal cell phone tower in your apartment. Yeah. That's a hotspot. It's VIP. Yeah. A hotspot is completely opposite somewhere else.
That's the problem. Is that they're congested and they're very slow in most places because they get the bare, like a place will be like free Wi-Fi, but they get the very slowest bandwidth they can get. They can say that, and it can be expensive because a lot of these places, you know, you go to the cafes or restaurant, they make you buy something, or you have to buy the hotspot code from them, or there's little hotspot like cards you can get and scratch offs and get a code.
Yeah, the scratch offs I thought were fun in the beginning, and then until like it took
they're worthless.
Hours.
Hotspots, in my opinion, are backup. You know, I think the main thing you would like to do is get cellular data. So use your phone and hotspot your phone. That's what I do for most of the things. I use my phone.
Bobby?
Yeah, basically you get a SIM card for the country you're in, and then you just use the cellular data on that. The problem with using cellular data is that you have to have an unlocked phone.
And there's ways to unlock your phone.
Yeah, so what we did with ours, it varies depending on what model phone you have and how new your phone is. You can have your phone unlocked where it'll work with any carrier worldwide for $50 to $150. The company that we use, not affiliated with them at all. We actually paid them to do everything. It's called unlockriver.com, and basically we unlocked both our phones with that.
And we paid what?
Yours was $50, mine was like $100. Because I had an iPhone 7, you had an iPhone 6. If you have an iPhone 10, for some reason they charge like $150 or whatever.
And we timed this with our crossing too. So we paid for it and set it up right before our crossing. So when we got to the other side, they were unlocked.
Yeah. And so it worked out well. So what you need to do when you do that, you just go buy a local SIM card whatever country you're in. And it costs generally $5 or $10 for that SIM card. And then you just add data to that. It costs various amounts depending on which country you're in.
But we'll kind
of get to that later. We'll talk about the different regions and the costs of doing that later on. You know, with cellular data, it only works in populated areas, generally speaking. Although it has a much better range than a Wi-Fi hotspot, because Wi-Fi hotspot you have to be right there. Or cellular data, you can be a mile offshore or whatever.
Cellular data is just like what you expect back home. You can drive, you can walk, you can go places. Your phone works the same wherever you go. Yeah. The hotspot thing is you're like stuck.
So another option you can do is satellite internet. It's extremely expensive.
We got really excited about that for a second, didn't we?
Well, we did. We were talking to a satellite internet provider, and we're like, hey,
we'll give you 50% off. We're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, but it was still expensive. So it was something like 10 or 15 gigabytes was going to be normally $5,000 a month. And you know, he was going to give us 50% off if we like listed on the thing. But it was
$2,500 a month. Still, we're like,
yeah. That's way too much. But I mean, we'll kind of get into the various options of satellite. You have Iridium Go, which is very affordable, I think. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but it's only a couple $100s, and that gets you, I think, unlimited data, but it's extremely slow. It's like less than dial-up speed.
I feel like that's okay. I think that's okay when you're out sailing for 17 days.
No, but I mean,
with nothing to do, where you can just sit there and be like.
No, you can't even send a picture. It would take you 3 hours to send a picture. You can't even do it. I mean, it does text.
You can check WhatsApp.
You can't check. You can check WhatsApp. That's about all you can do. Okay. And then there's the BGAN systems, which are a little bit faster. I think the maximum speed on those is 456 kilobytes a second, which is still much slower than you have in your home network or on your phone. But it's usable. You can surf the internet on that.
So sailing in general is slow.
Yeah, everything is slow.
Okay.
But so the satellite systems work pretty much everywhere, and the thing is that they're putting up new satellites all the time. I don't remember exactly what all the networks that are going up, but they're putting up a lot more satellites that are better at using the bandwidth, and I think the cost should come down a lot in the next 5 to 10 years, and you'll see that a lot. But as more and more places get better cell phone service and all that, you kind of need them less unless you're doing an open ocean crossing. So another option is the inReach by Garmin, which is about the size of a cell phone. It's a little bit clunkier than that. It's like maybe an old school, like a second generation cell phone, basically.
I love it. Are you kidding me? It's durable. It's waterproof. It's got an SOS button if you're in trouble. There are so many great features of this. It's not about the size, Bobby.
Right, yeah.
It's about what it can do.
Okay. So there's a couple different plans you can do with this. For $25 a month, I think you get 50 text messages plus unlimited tracking. We do the $50 a month plan, which gets us unlimited text messages and unlimited tracking. And so what we do is we actually offer our patrons, so if you want to become a patron, you can do that. Any level patron gets access to our tracker, and so they can track us where we are in real time. And then we have our $5 and up patrons actually get the phone number to this thing because you can text it.
Which kind of goes back to, do you need internet?
Yeah.
Because some people just need internet so their family knows where they are. And
right.
And now with the tracking, they can see where you are, see
Absolutely.
that you're moving, see that you're on track going where you're supposed to, and unlimited.
If you're not too worried about checking emails and Facebook and all that, the Garmin inReach is the way to go. I mean, then you can occasionally go into a hotspot and do it and check it out. But
I feel like the Garmin's a great foundation for communication.
Absolutely.
If you're going to take off, it's a good place to start. Just have that as your baseline.
Mm-hmm. So now that we've covered the different options you can do here, we'll cover the regions. So we'll start off with the Bahamas and the Caribbean. They have excellent phone service. Even on the uninhabited islands in the Bahamas, you can generally get phone service. and the cellular data is much faster than Wi-Fi.
Because they're close to places.
Yeah. And but you do, like we talked about earlier, you have to buy a SIM card, $5 or $10. And the last time I bought data, which is about a year ago in the Bahamas, it was $50 for 7 gigabytes of data, and that was 3 and 4G speed, so pretty fast. And that's all you need, and just hotspot your phone. There you go.
I was really happy with Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
I was very surprised when my contract and carrier, everything worked.
Yeah, so
no
Mexico,
roaming.
The next region, Mexico, there are hotspots everywhere, but your cell phone data is still better. And the thing about it is most American cell phone carriers now are including Mexico into your base plan. Or maybe you have to pay the international fee on it, but we weren't roaming in Mexico.
I didn't pay a fee.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
I was living in Alaska before that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's... Yeah. So... I was pleasantly surprised by everything.
So if you're going to the Caribbean or Mexico, cell phone's the way to go. Data. Now, most people, their first place when they cross the Pacific, headed to the South Pacific, would be French Polynesia.
We went to the Marquesas.
The Marquesas are the first stop in French Polynesia. And
we were crossing when the Ark was crossing. There were a lot of boats crossing at that time.
The Marquesas are extremely slow.
In general, what are you talking about?
Painfully slow internet. There is no cellular phone data. There's only hotspots, and they are less than dial-up speed. And so imagine you have like 5 or 6 people at whatever cafe sharing a dial-up internet connection.
Which is why I was really surprised, because how many boats go through there?
Yeah, but they don't care. I mean, it's not that they don't care. I mean, they don't. That's not. The Marquesan people, they don't care. They don't need the internet. Now, the rest of French Polynesia, excluding the Tuamotus, the Tuamotus are much like the Marquesas. But Tahiti and the Society Islands have very good internet. They have like a fiber optic cable to Hawaii and very fast.
I feel like when we went from the Marquesas to Tahiti, it was life-changing.
Yeah, we went to 4G, like probably the best internet we've had the entire time was Tahiti.
The speed of light. I was like, whoa, I'm not even prepared for this. I can click something and it happens. Like, whoa.
The problem is that the internet in those places was extremely expensive for cellular data. So we have to upload. We uploaded like 15 or 20 videos when we got to Tahiti, and each video is about a gigabyte, and it's $15 a gigabyte there. Or was maybe even more than that. It was kind of crazy, but it was super fast. So
at least they had AC when we were doing that.
Yeah, it was nice. So as you get a little further west, you get into places like Niue and the Marshall Islands. Their internet is horrible, very slow.
The thing I liked about Niue though is because you kind of hung out with people.
Well, that is
smaller place and.
That is the thing. I mean, if you're forced to use the hotspots because there is no cellular data, like in Niue or a lot of places in the Marshall Islands.
Kind of meet the community a little bit.
You meet more people. It is a lot of fun doing that. Yeah. And then the further west you get into Tonga and Fiji and Vanuatu and all that, the internet is very good on your cell phone. Hotspots are still slow, but the internet becomes very cheap. And then it comes down to like $1 a gigabyte.
Well, another thing I noticed when we got into that area was like they had Digicel and Vodafone. Yeah. And those SIM cards sometimes worked in the next country and sometimes didn't.
Well, in Tonga, if you had a SIM card from Tonga, it still worked in Fiji. When you got to Vanuatu, it stopped working.
Yeah, if you have leftovers, just hold on to them just in case.
And then when you get to Asia, they have excellent phone service pretty much everywhere in Asia, Thailand, all those places. We're in Indonesia right now. The internet is good. I wouldn't say great, but good enough.
It depends on how big of a place we're at, right? Yeah. Because we've been to really small villages and. Well, even
the small
internet everywhere.
Even the small villages still have 3G.
Better than French Polynesia.
Yeah. So
Marquesas,
now a lot of people, what they've been doing is they'll get a Wi-Fi extender and put it up their mast and all that.
Like we did.
We even have one. We never really got it working, so whatever. But I wouldn't do that again. What I would do now is I would get a cellular data. A lot of places like. In remote areas of the United States, they're so far from a cell tower, they get these range extenders. They put them up on a pole, and so they have a little spot around their house where they have internet. And so that's what I would do for the boat.
You made your own range extender before. My cell phone's been in a dry bag, up the mast, a few times.
That is true. What's that?
Can't use the iPhone. Right.
So that's what we did. The one time we were in Mexico and we were pretty far away from a cell tower and the service was bad, and I had to upload a video, so I put your phone in a dry bag, put it on a halyard, and we actually turned on the hotspot on it. I connected my computer to it, and then I put it up the mast, and we got phone service. So that's another option you can always do. So, but I hope that helps, guys, with maybe your decisions on how you want to get internet and how you want to do everything.
I wish somebody told us some of these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I looked into it before, but everything I've seen previously was all based on Wi-Fi range extending and Wi-Fi hotspots, and I think that's the past. The future for cruising is using cellular data and satellite. Once the satellite costs come down, you'll see a lot more of that. But
how much time do you think we spend on the water?
Well, I don't know.
50% of the time of this sail?
No, a third.
Okay, a third of the time we're on the water.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think a Garmin is a good foundation is because I didn't really know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And for $350, which is like half or a third of an iPhone price, and $50 a month, I probably would have got my own personal Garmin and been able to text and do whatever I wanted, this entire time. Because, it's been a long trip. And, there's a lot of time that you have zero contact.
Yeah. So, hey, sometimes it's a good thing having zero contact. It's nice to be able to unplug.
Yeah, it is nice, but then I don't know.
So we hope this helped, guys, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sailing Doodles podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Please give us a comment down below on or in whatever medium you're watching or listening to this. Leave us a comment on how extra ideas you think that we didn't touch on this, and also what you think about this new podcast series. If you like this being on YouTube and you think it's something you want to watch in the future, please leave a comment on that. Again, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.